Have you ever thought that your desire to look good and to sound good might actually be holding you back? In this video, I'm going to tell you why letting go of your need to look good can help you make much faster progress with your music and free you up from anxiety at the same time. And I'll tell you how to get started. So here's the problem. When you think about where you want to go with your music, and that tends to be whether it's just the next upcoming performance, a moment in time, or where you're looking to get to long term, we tend to think it's all about sounding good. And I'm going to go even further and widen that into looking good, because it's not just how we sound, it's how confident we look on stage, it's how much knowledge we appear to have, all that sort of thing. And this desire to look good is really understandable. Because frankly, the sounding good part of it, that's what music's all about, isn't it? It's the sound. Music is sound, so that's got to be good. And on top of that as well, no matter how much you might try and pretend, hey, I do my own thing, I don't care, we do all care about other people's opinions. So it is really important to us to sound good, to look good. And that makes sense. What you may not realize, though, is that this desire to look good is actually holding us back from getting good. And it's the desire that's important here. It's not that sounding good or looking good is a bad thing in itself. It's when we hold on to that too much. That's when it affects what we do and how much progress we make. And there have been really talented people in all walks of life, music, sport, whatever, who have had so much talent, so much potential, and they've really not managed to achieve that because of this obsession with looking good. For musicians, maybe it's sounding good. And there's two main ways that the need to look good hurts us. And the first is in our willingness to make mistakes. Now, mistakes are really important for a whole number of reasons. If you want to get long-term progress, you're going to have to do things that are difficult for you, try things that you've never done before, and there are inevitably going to be mistakes on the way. If you're constantly looking around at other people to see, what do they make of this? Am I looking good? You're not going to be as willing to make those mistakes which are actually going to move you forward in the long term. And that goes very much so for practice. But even in performance, mistakes are important, because when you're playing to your full potential, you are out there on the edge. You are pushing the boundaries of what you're capable of. And if you're really going to find out where those boundaries are, you're going to step over sometimes, and there will be the odd mistake. When you're deliberately avoiding mistakes at all costs, you are playing well within yourself. So, okay, maybe you're not doing the looking bad thing, you're looking quite good because you're getting everything right, but you're not achieving as much as you're capable of. And the second side of things is about asking questions, demonstrating knowledge. Because if you really want to learn as much as you can, if you really want to take advantage of all those growth opportunities, you've got to be willing to show that there are areas that you don't know things, to ask potentially stupid questions, to risk saying the wrong thing. Because, hey, okay, maybe you don't look so good in the short term, but that's the way you're going to grow. That's the way you're going to get good in the long term. And this is the trade-off. Do not let looking good now stand in the way of all the things you need to do to get good later, even if you look a little bit stupid just at this moment, because I can promise you, you will look a whole lot better in 6 months, 1 year, 10 years time, when you've done the difficult things now and made that massive progress to a whole new level. Now, I'd love to know which of those two you find hardest, opening up to the risk of making mistakes or admitting that there are potentially big gaps in your knowledge. Which one is it? Just let me know by leaving a comment below. So when you change your attitude, and you make getting good your goal rather than looking good, then this frees you up in a lot of ways. It frees you up to make mistakes and to ask questions, because if things go wrong, that's no longer a negative outcome like it is if you're concerned with just looking good. You realize that what you learn from that mistake, from the answer to that question, that's going to move you forward in the long term. So, hey, you are making progress. And if you adopt this attitude, it's all about getting good, you don't have to worry so much about what other people think. And you're going to make much more progress with your music in the long term. Now, if you'd like to make a start on adopting more productive attitudes and mindsets like this, then you should definitely check out my free ebook, Unshakable Foundations. And this covers the 9 key mindsets that the top performers all share. And if you want to get really serious about digging into this, then check out my in-depth course, Unlock Your Performance. And I'll put links to both of these in the description below. I've been Mark Morley-Fletcher. Thanks so much for watching. Please click below to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And while you're down there, why not hit the share button to pass this on to other musicians? Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.